Every day is a new adventure going in. Every day we're learning something new, um, learning things about each other. It's one big family.
Hi, Little Bands fans. I'm Michael Smith, and this is your Teacher Tuesday. Today I'm here with pianist Natalie Copeland. Hi, Natalie. It's nice to meet you. How are you?
Hi, nice to meet you too, Michael. I'm doing excellent, excellent, fantastic.
So, you are a pianist. Can you tell me a little bit of your background on the piano? Did you come from a musical family, parents, siblings, and how did you get started?
Yeah, so initially when I started, I actually did come from a big family of musicians. My mom was a self-taught pianist. She taught herself in her early 20s. And when she started a family, she taught all of her kids piano. My oldest sister, she put in clarinet lessons. Um, Oldest brother played the drums. Another brother of mine played saxophone, and then I used to sing as well as play piano, and then another brother of mine would also sing and play piano, and so we created this family band. Um, for me, when I started when I was 4 years old, and my mom would teach me on her lap how to play piano. And from there, I just took off and I loved it and haven't stopped for the rest of my life. I just something that I gravitated towards and continued.
That's really cool. What would you say are some of the highest points of your career so far as a memorable moments?
Yeah. Um, you know what? There's been a lot of exciting moments with it. I honestly can't pick out just one, and I feel like there's a lot more to come. One of my big highlights or proudest moments with it was when I graduated university and I had to do my senior recital and showcase all of my work. And that was just one of the greatest moments that I felt. Also, beginning to teach. Honestly, when I started learning piano, one of my biggest dreams was just to become a performer and to be on the stage performing music. Um, and with that, I also had started teaching and I started to love teaching. And I didn't realize that that was something that I would start to enjoy initially in my career. I didn't want to teach at the beginning. I remember I used to say I would never be a teacher. And lo and behold, it is something that I absolutely love to do. And every single day doing this job, doing this career, I just find every day to be a blessing and enjoy working and meeting new families and working with new people.
Little Bands is known for our multi-instrumental program, but you teach the more traditional private piano lessons.
Yes, yes. Um, since I didn't really learn that many other instruments, um, and since this was my primary focus, then I wanted to really focus on getting that fundamental down, especially with other musicians. I do feel like a lot of times with piano, especially, um, it's very universal. A lot of things that you learn on piano can translate over to a lot of other instruments, and especially with like reading music, things like that. And I find it to be very helpful, especially like learning guitar. It makes it easier. So I primarily focus on the piano. I would love to integrate into working with the bigger groups and the bands. But I feel like I need a little bit more, at least practice with playing some other instruments before I can teach somebody else with that.
Yeah, that's really cool. And how has your experience been with working with the wild world of Little Band School so far?
You know what? It's been very, very fun working with little bands. Um, as crazy and as um, chaotic sometimes it is, I am excited by that. I love working with that. Every day is a new adventure going in. Every day we're learning something new, uh, learning things about each other. It's one big family. And that's what happens in families. That's that's how it is, and I enjoy it a lot. So
What would you say is the most challenging aspect of teaching piano? And what is your favorite thing about teaching?
I would say it's getting to know and understand each and every student. everybody is special in their own way. Everybody has their own learning style. And me as a teacher, I have to figure that out. I don't like just working with one particular teaching style or, doing things a certain way. Everybody's different. And, you know, music is so diverse. There's so many different genres, different styles, and everybody has different taste. And I have to work with that. Sometimes that can be a little bit of a challenge. Um, so that's one of the big challenges. Favorite thing about teaching. Um, all around, I just love working with it and seeing kids and even adults be able to use music as a creative outlet. Um, it's a universal language everybody understands, and I enjoy seeing people get something out of it and being able to enjoy it, and use that as their own outlet, in any way, shape, or form that they choose to.
How has being a musician and music teacher been during this crazy pandemic?
Honestly, it's not been as challenging as I thought it would be initially. And I really like that this online part is taking off. Um, it's it's opening a new door for the music industry and for teaching. And I don't like to think of it as something that's negative. Of course, I love working in person with people, but I want everybody to stay safe, stay healthy, and this is just a new door, a new opening, a new window, for us as teachers and a bigger reach out to people.
I'm guessing that as a musician, you have always loved music. What is your favorite music to listen to, and what are some of your greatest musical influences?
A lot of the times, I would say my playlist is usually all over the place. I have music from every genre. Um, Most of the time, I do gravitate towards classical music, generally because I like to keep busy and it's great music to just have in the background. Um, but even though I gravitate towards classical, I enjoy jazz, I enjoy rap music, I enjoy rock and roll, I enjoy metal music sometimes, even um, pop music. So all around, it's just I'm able to enjoy no matter what's going on. And it's my greatest music inspirations. It's going to sound weird, but I don't really have any music inspiration so much. I feel like everybody is unique and different in their own way as a musician. And every musician to me they have some very, very, very brilliant music that comes out, as well as some that maybe might not be inside of my particular taste. And I usually can find something from every artist that I'm able to pick out that speaks to me. So I don't usually have somebody that is necessarily a greatest inspiration, but it's more so the music itself that I'm inspired by. Listening to it, getting creative ideas from it, um, listening to the different tones, everything going through it. So it's more of the music itself rather than it being a particular person.
So, Natalie, I heard besides an amazing pianist that you are also an experienced dancer. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I did ballet for about 12 to 14 years. Um, that was the other thing my mom had started me, and I started when I was 2 years old. And aside from the music, which I gravitated towards, I also um, continued with the dance. And eventually I did start performing with point as well. Um, Eventually I did get a little too tall to do it, so I ended up having to stop. But it was something, and it's something that I still continue to do, especially with music. It's another form of a creative outlet that I enjoy doing. So sometimes, even still, I continue to dance to this day. Not just ballet, but just, using that as motivation to be active and move around, and fitness. So I continue to use that as also an additional creative outlet to go along with the music.
Okay, one final question, Natalie. What would you say some of your greatest strengths are as a teacher? And, and if someone was lucky enough to take piano lessons with you, What would their lessons be like? What would they expect? What would they look like?
Greatest strengths as a teacher. I would say being able to adapt and read um, the emotions of my students, being able to adapt the lesson to revolve around them. Because the most important thing at the end of the day is the student themselves. And being able to be a, not necessarily an inspiration to them, but being able to be a good influence to the kids is something that I strive to do every single lesson. Um, Even if the lesson, maybe the lesson isn't going that well that day, but at least if they can take away something from the lesson, that I can be a good influence on their day, on their life, on everything throughout life, not just about the music, but just being a good influence is something that I strive to do with every student that I teach, and trying to understand them as a person and help them grow as an individual, not just as a music student, but growing as an individual as well.
Okay, thank you all. This is Michael Smith, and this has been your Teacher Tuesday.